The woman told me to run away quickly or I'd be the next one locked up in here, but when she saw my boyfriend, she threw herself at him, not in hysterical anger nor in timid pleading. Instead, she kissed him so passionately, so tenderly, it made my skin crawl and my breath stop. A skeletal woman was chained up in the basement, her cheeks were sunken, her body covered in bruises. An iron chain around her neck kept her tethered like a dog in the dark, sunless space. I stood on the stairs, our eyes meeting. My breathing quickened for no apparent reason. She seemed surprised to see me there. I told her my boyfriend had brought me to his hometown to meet his parents. Just as I was about to ask who she was, she suddenly became hysterical upon hearing this. She shouted at me, "Run, get out of here now." Her sudden outburst startled me. With a trembling voice, I asked her why, but her next words sent chills down my spine. "Because if you don't leave, you'll be the next one locked up in here." I had been dating Lucas for 6 months, and we were planning to get married. He invited me to his hometown to meet his parents. Lucas was considered a good man by everyone, and his parents had always been very caring towards me. Today, because I wasn't feeling well, I stayed alone at his house. Her words made me uneasy, so I left the basement as quickly as I could. When I came up, I found Lucas had already returned. He handed me a bag of sweet apricots, but I could barely taste them. I tentatively asked, "Have you ever brought other women back here before?" Lucas's fingers paused for a moment, then he wiped the juice from the corner of my mouth and smiled. "I've already told you, I've only had 2 exes." Lucas had always kept his social circle simple, coming home on time every night, even when he occasionally went out drinking with friends. They were all people I knew. I knew I shouldn't doubt my boyfriend, but who was that girl in the basement? I nodded thoughtfully. Suddenly remembering something, I probed further. "Was one of your ex-girlfriends the one with a birthmark on her wrist?" His face instantly darkened, and I felt inexplicably nervous. Lucas demanded to know how I knew about the birthmark. I suppressed the fear in my heart and tried to act calm, telling him he had mentioned it once before and I had remembered. I've always been attentive to details, so this explanation should be believable. Lucas stared intently at my expression. I unconsciously swallowed, cold sweat breaking out all over my body. Suddenly, Lucas smiled. He went into the inner room and took out a photo from the drawer, handing it to me. The woman in the photo was clearly the woman in the basement. Next to her stood Lucas and his parents, all smiling at the camera, clearly a family portrait. Lucas pointed to the family photo and explained that the one with the birthmark was actually his sister. His sister had an accident some years ago and became mentally unstable, often running away on the streets. She almost got hit by cars several times, so they had no choice but to keep her locked up at home. I suddenly understood and felt relieved, but then I thought even if she was his own sister, she shouldn't be locked in the basement. However, this was their family matter, and I didn't feel it was my place to ask more questions. As I glanced at the photo again, I couldn't help but feel that their smiles seemed somewhat forced. In the middle of the night, I was awakened by a nightmare. I looked to the side and found no one there. Feeling uneasy, I decided to go out and take a look. As I passed through the living room, I heard voices. It was Lucas's voice. What was he doing up at this hour? I quietly hid behind a pillar and saw candles burning in the room, casting Lucas's shadow on the window. I saw him holding a knife, stabbing downwards quickly. I heard a muffled thud, followed by a splash of blood on the window, a patch of crimson, with a faint smell of blood in the air. In that instant, fear swept over me. The scene from earlier flashed in my mind. Lucas was killing someone. I suppressed the terror in my heart, hiding there, not daring to make a sound. Then I saw Lucas hack down again, and another splash of blood spurted out. My heart was pounding violently. I wanted to call the police with my phone, but then remembered I had left it in the bedroom. I was about to sneak back to the room when I turned around and saw his mother standing expressionless behind me. Who knows how long she had been watching. "Where are you going, Mia?" I was terrified, my whole body trembling. I managed to force a stiff smile. "Oh, I was just going to the bathroom." As I said this, I instinctively looked back and saw Lucas's hawk-like eyes staring at me unblinkingly. I looked at the knife in his hand, my back already damp with cold sweat. I was debating whether to cry for help when Lucas suddenly frowned.